Hello and welcome. We are live. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to today's leadership session, Overcoming Challenges and Thriving. It is all about women in leadership, essential tips for becoming a first line supervisor. I hope that you all are ready to grow and elevate your careers. Again, thank you for joining us today on our session entitled Women in Leadership Essential Tips for Becoming a First Line Supervisor. If you are new to our channel, my name is Miranda and I am your Sparkle Joy coach, and I'm excited to be here today. This session is designed to provide you with valuable insights and tips so that you can transition from employee to first line supervisor. I speak to lots of women who haven't become first line supervisor, and it's always a little bit unnerving. It's how am I going to be? What's my leadership style? And I want to make sure that we speak to that. A couple of weeks ago, we did another session that dealt with becoming the first line supervisor. So you definitely, if you missed it, go back, check that out. Last week, we did our leadership session, Women in Leadership, the importance of self-worth. If you did not watch that, please go back, watch that. It's so important, just period, as a women, as people, that we understand our value, understand our self-worth, and it plays a role in leadership. And thus, if you miss it, go back and check it out. For today, our three key points, our areas are going to be building confidence, effective communication, and delegation and time management. By the end of our session today, you'll have a clearer understanding of what it takes to excel as a first line supervisor, and you're going to feel more prepared for the next exciting step in your journey. I love to do a roll call always, whether you're catching us live, whether you're catching us on the replay. Please make sure that you shout your name out. Where are you tuning in from? We love to hear from you. Myself, the team, we go through the comments. And so whether, again, it's live or the replay, just drop us a little line, as long as, and I know y'all know that this is the internet and you get lots and lots of comments. So I always like to still preface, as long as it has to do with the leadership or something in the genre that we are speaking about, we are definitely here for you. If there's something resonating, let us know. If there's something you'd like us to cover that we haven't covered, or you want more information, let us know that as well. Sometimes I share a story, and I'm going to do that today. And this is about one of my former colleagues named Tamika. Tamika, dedicated, hardworking employee within the organization for several years. How many of you can relate? Because you are saying, listen, Miranda, I am a hardworking, dedicated employee. Look, some of y'all are probably saying, I'm tired of getting looked over for that position. And if that's you, go ahead, keep on listening. Keep on listening, because Tamika had just been this dedicated employee for several years. When the opportunity arose for promotion to first line supervisor, she was thrilled and yet apprehensive. And I hear this all the time. I hear women who are like, well, I'm not qualified enough, or there's just that self doubt. And I don't want that for you. Tamika had already excelled in her individual role but leading a team was new to her. It was literally uncharted territory. And so there were little bumps and hiccups and along the way and a little challenges. But despite her initial hesitation, Tamika decided to take the leap. And you all, some of you are right at the precipice. You are right there. And this is definitely for you. Take the leap of faith, apply. If you applied before and you didn't make it, connect with me, connect with someone, a coach of some sort or a career coach at your organization. It doesn't have to be with me. Listen, I want you all to connect with someone who has your best interest in mind that can help you, that can walk through some scenarios, that can show you, guide you, offer support that you need because you do not have to do this alone. And again, let me get back to the story. Despite what she was feeling, she took that leap of faith. She quickly realized that the skills she had developed as an employee, now hear me, the skills she had developed as an employee were different from the ones that she needed in this supervisory role. So she needed to build her self confidence in her leadership abilities, learn how to communicate effectively within her team. And then, and surprisingly, people do have a hard time with delegation and letting go of control. And some people have a time with time management as well. Tamika's journey was not just without challenges, but with the right guidance and support, she was able to successfully transition into her new role. Today, she is a respected leader who has earned the trust and admiration of her team. She has not only moved from first line, but she is an executive director to today. And so it's important. I want you all to take that leap of faith. But before you take that leap of faith, let's go ahead and talk about our 3 points. The first one is about building confidence. Confidence is going to be the foundation for your effective leadership. As a first line supervisor, you're going to be making decisions, guiding your team, and setting the tone for the workplace. And here are some tips that I want to share with you so that you can not just build, but maintain your confidence. I speak about self awareness all the time. You can feel free to go back and look at some of our previous videos because self awareness is so key. And this is not going to be the first time that you hear about it, nor is it going to be the last time. Understand your strengths and areas for improvement. Reflect on your past accomplishments and how you can leverage them in this new role. Another thing that I definitely need you to do is to be able to seek feedback from trusted colleagues, mentors, to gain a clear perspective on your leadership potential, your role. It's important, especially what the expectations may be. And so if you're able to speak to someone, and especially someone who you have already built some form of confidence, you've already built some form of rapport and trust, they can also help you to navigate things that you may not even be aware of. And then you must also, when we're talking about confidence, it's a thing called continuous learning. I am sure that you all have heard it. You need to embrace continuous learning. Do not stop. A lot of people get complacent. Do not get complacent. The things that brought you here today are not always going to be the things that keep you in your position, or they're not going to be the things that catapult you to your next position. And so when we're talking about like literally leadership skills, they can be developed, they can be redefined over time. I am not that person that doesn't believe, and I know there is many debates on this topic where some people believe only leaders are born, they're not made. I am not in that mindset. I'm in the mindset that there are some people who are naturally, inherently just born and born to do this. And then I believe that there are people who can learn to lead and become outstanding leaders. Sometimes there are things that can happen in your life that can sway you one way. And it may not be later on in life until you realize, hey, don't count me out. Don't count me out. I am a leader. And so if we go with that mindset, leaders are only born. What happens when you deviated from the path and you get back on the path and people are counting you out? No, mm, not the story I'm telling. And that will never be my story because leadership is a skill set that you really can develop. And as I stated earlier, you can redefine over time. Take advantage of any training programs, workshops, anything that you can. Yes, look for those things that are free. And then also, there are times that you are going to need to purchase. That's right. There are times that you're going to need to put some of that funding up yourself to be able to gain the knowledge that you need. Stay updated within your industry trends because that's going to be important. You cannot just rest. You don't have to necessarily, I'm not saying work 80 out. No, yeah, working 80 hours in 1 week. No, I'm not saying that, but don't rest where you are. Still strive to do better and to be better. And then I want to also talk when we're talking about confidence, your self talk. Incorporate, and I understand for some this is new. Incorporate positive self talk. Challenge self doubt with positive affirmations. Remind yourself of your capabilities and the reasons why you chose this role. Visualize your success and approach challenges with a solution orientated mindset. Our second point is going to be effective communication. Communication is a critical skill for any leader at any time. As a first line supervisor, you need to communicate clearly and effectively with your team to ensure alignment and productivity. How many of you all are tired of being in a meeting and you're sitting there leaving a meeting like, well, what happened was, what did he say? What did they want us to do? Did I hear what Now leaders are looking at the meeting. They're looking all at the meeting, still talking and not necessarily addressing the bewildered looks on the faces. Sometimes we gotta stop and we have to really survey the room to be able to say they get it, they don't get it. And for you all, you know by the rooms that you have been in how important communication is. Let's start by definitely active listening. And I feel like I'm about to repeat myself, team, because I know I've said several times, I really need to just stop and do something about active listening. That must mean it's on the way, you all. It's on the way. Active listening. Give me a hashtag, Miranda Do Active Listening, or drop something in the comments. We really need to dive more into active listening. And that's really about pay close attention to what your team members are saying. I want you to be able to show empathy and understanding by acknowledging their concerns and feedback. This is what's going to help build trust and foster that collaborative work environment that every employee wants to work in. And then clear instructions. How about you also run when you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to give this instruction, run it by someone, especially if you're new to this whole leadership realm. I understand you think the instructions that you are given are clear. Clearly, you think so, but that's not always the case. So you need to be able to work on clear instructions, provide clear, concise instructions to your team, avoid jargon, and ensure that everyone understands their roles and responsibilities. Use visual aids and written summaries if necessary. And note, I said if necessary. There are times, even today, when I am given instructions, it depends on who I'm giving those instructions to. Sometimes it's just a verbal conversation, and times it's a verbal conversation followed up with a detailed or maybe not as detailed, but I will follow it up with an email. Here are the things that we discuss because it's important. And remember, people receive information differently. And so sometimes one form of communication is not always best, depending on who you're speaking to. Open dialogue, encourage open dialogue and honest communication. Create this environment where team members feel comfortable sharing their ideals and opinions. Regularly check in with your team to address any issues or concerns properly. And then the third thing is delegation and time management. Effective delegation and time management are essential for maintaining this productivity and achieving not just your team goals, but the organizational goals as a whole. I want to leave you with a few tips. First, prioritize tasks. Identify the most important tasks and focus on those most important tasks first. Use tools like to-do lists, project management software to keep track of your priorities and deadlines. You need some form of process of how you're going to tackle things. Don't just leave it all in your head saying, yeah, I got this, I got this, I get this. It does not always work. It does not always work. You will at some point forget something and something important or something that's important to someone else. And so it's important that you have some form of how you prioritize, how you tackle your day to day work. Delegate lower priority tasks to team members who have the skills to handle them. Pull your team members up. Help them to become better. Help them to become first line supervisor. Stop worrying about someone taking your position. Instill in them so when it's time for you to go, someone can move up and you would have already trained them appropriately. Empower your team, trust your team members' responsibilities. Delegation not only frees up your time, but it empowers your team to develop their skills and take ownership. They're able to take ownership. Oh my gosh, they trusted me. And because they trusted me, I'm going to do the best that I can because you allowed them to know, you gave them the authority, you gave them additional tasks. Now, don't dump all your work on your team. That is not what I am saying. However, if it is something that's a lower priority, you really can empower your team by allowing them to do these additional assignments, provide guidance and support as needed, but please no micromanaging. And that's another topic for another day, but no micromanaging. And then I want you to set boundaries, establish clear boundaries between your work and your personal time. Encourage your team to do the same, but do not be that leader that says, do one thing while you do another. That means that if you tell them to leave work at work, then you, ma'am, you, sir, need to leave work at work. Effective time management also definitely involves balancing your workload while ensuring that you have time to recharge and maintain your well being. You will be over people, you will be leading people. And it's so important as a leader that you're able to maintain your well being as well as you push for your team to do the same. Transitioning from an employee to a first line supervisor is so exciting, and yet it is a challenging journey. By focusing on building confidence, enhancing your communication, and mastering delegation and time management, you can set yourself up for success in a whole new way. Please remember Tamika's story on how preparation and with the right mindset can truly make the difference. Embrace this opportunity to grow and to be able to lead with confidence. I always love to end with a quote, and that quote is, the most effective way to do it is to do it. That's right. Join me next week for incredible insights and another fantastic session. You deserve nothing but the best. It is my goal to ensure that you move to your next level. Let's take your career to new heights together.